Imagine waking up one morning to a world without connection, no messages, no maps, no digital heartbeat. The internet, gone. Forever. At first, it feels like silence. But soon, it feels like collapse. This is not a science fiction film. This is a question that forces us to confront the fragile web that binds our modern civilization together. What if the internet shut down forever? The internet is the nervous system of our world. It links nearly 5 billion people. It fuels global trade, communication, education, medicine, defense. It is everywhere, and yet, invisible. But what if, suddenly, it disappeared? Not for an hour, not for a day, but permanently. To understand the scale of this catastrophe, we must first understand what the internet truly is, and why its loss would send shockwaves through every aspect of human life. The internet is not a single machine. It is a vast network, millions of servers, billions of devices, endless strands of fiber optic cables stretching across oceans and continents. It is decentralized, designed to survive even nuclear war. Yet its strength is also its weakness. Because while there is no single off switch, its survival depends on constant power, constant maintenance, and global cooperation. If this vast system collapsed forever, whether by cyber attack, solar storm, or deliberate dismantling, our world would change more violently than perhaps any event since the Industrial Revolution. We have lived without the internet before. Just a few decades ago, letters traveled by ship, information spread through radio and print, markets moved slower, and communities remained more local. But the difference is this: in the 21st century, everything, every transaction, every record, every heartbeat of the economy is tethered to this invisible network. To lose it now would not be a return to the 1980s. It would be a descent into chaos. The first hours would feel like confusion. Phones no longer load messages. GPS maps freeze. Social media falls silent. Banks cannot process transactions. For a moment, many would believe it's temporary. A glitch. A blackout. But as hours stretch to days, the truth sinks in. The digital age is over. Within days, supply chains grind to a halt. Supermarkets cannot order stock. Credit cards are useless. ATMs fail. The world's financial markets, built entirely on digital exchange, implode. Trillions vanish overnight. Hospitals lose access to patient records. Medical research is stranded. Air traffic control fails, grounding thousands of planes. Shipping routes are lost. The arteries of global trade clog and seize. Without communication, governments lose control. Emergency alerts vanish. Law enforcement coordination collapses. Misinformation spreads in whispers and rumors. Communities turn inward. Panic begins to spread. For generations raised in constant connection, the psychological shock is severe. No lifelines. No voices from afar. A silence louder than war. Weeks turn into months. Nations scramble to rebuild analog systems, printing cash, reinstating paper records, re-establishing radio communication. But the damage is irreversible. Globalization as we know it ends. International trade shrinks. Education, research, and collaboration suffer setbacks measured not in years, but in centuries. A new divide forms between those who can adapt and those who cannot. Some societies rediscover resilience in local farming, regional trade, and face-to-face governance. Others fracture, unable to withstand the shock. Throughout history, civilizations have risen and fallen with the loss of critical systems. Rome collapsed when its roads and supply chains failed. The mines fractured under drought and famine. But the internet is not a tool like aqueducts or plows. It is the backbone of the entire modern order. To lose it is to unravel the fabric of the world itself. We like to believe that progress is permanent, that once we climb higher, we cannot fall. But the truth is fragile. A single, invisible system now carries the weight of human civilization. Its destruction would not just silence our screens. It would silence the modern age itself. Yet within this collapse lies a question. Would humanity rediscover old ways of living, slower, simpler, more local? Or would we descend into a dark age born not of fire, but of silence? And so we are left with a haunting thought. The internet is our greatest creation, but it is also our greatest vulnerability. If it disappeared forever, would we find a way to survive? Or would the world as we know it simply end? And if this collapse could happen, what other invisible threads of civilization might vanish next?